Yeah, you can take a seat.
Amongst my pages.
Woo!
Yay!
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you, bitch, for the pussiest show we have ever had here at Churchill. It was super amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, man. It was so great. I mean, a big thank you to Lori for reaching out and sending me a link. And I mean, I fell in love with your music as soon as I heard it. So
thank you.
It was a blast to have you here.
Yeah, what a blast to be here. Thank you.
So I'll start off with like a soft question.
Okay.
You know, a
Soft,
softball.
okay.
Yeah. So you and Katie are traveling together in the same vehicle on this tour, and I'm thinking maybe this is a pandemic-related, economy-related sort of arrangement, because we have somebody else coming in February that's going to be doing the same thing. So you've also been on tour this year with the Indigo Girls already, and with Ani DeFranco just a little while ago.
Yes.
How different is it from when you're doing these stadium, bigger venues, and then coming to places like Churchill?
You know, they're so different, and they don't have, I can't even compare them. Like, there's not one that's better, because something like this is so, the intimacy and the way that, you know, we get to connect, and I'm gonna meet your kids. You know, there's just something different about it. And of course, like playing those huge shows, there's all this energy coming at you, and it's very exciting. And to be able to share a stage with some of my idols is, you know, so incredible. And yeah, and Katie Cash is such an idol of mine. And, you know, for us to get to collaborate in this way is, gosh, it's just different worlds, you know? And it's all linked, because ultimately what people are seeking is togetherness, you know? And what people are going to concerts for, whether they're huge concerts, small concerts, they're seeking togetherness. And I think it's important for us to remember that that's what we do as humans and as artists.
Well, you definitely brought us all together tonight, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was super fun. So on the poster, you're wearing this jacket, and there's a whole bunch of buttons, like small buttons, but then there's this one that's like sticking out, and it says, "I want a new drug." And so I'm wondering if you're a fan of Huey Lewis.
Yes, absolutely. That is my era. I want a new drug.
And you actually did a couple of covers recently, too, that you released after you released Bitchcraft.
Yes.
Come to My Window, Melissa Etheridge.
Yep.
And then The Boys of Summer, Don Henley. And so talk about those influences, and then also what influences you have that we might not guess.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Boys of Summer is just one of those classic songs that is just kind of always on repeat in my head. I was asked for the Melissa Etheridge one, I was asked to cover a gay anthem. And that song, of course, "Come to My Window." It's so good. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about those covers, but they definitely speak to my era and my age group. And then what was the other question?
The question was, what influence do you have that we wouldn't recognize?
That you wouldn't recognize. Sinead O'Connor, huge influence.
Okay.
You would recognize
I
that?
would
Okay. The Muppets, you'd probably recognize that musical influence.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously. What's less
Animal was in
influential?
your band.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were in a band with Animal.
My dad always listened to jazz when I was growing up, and that's a big influence on me. And my mom, with her tap studio, also was a choreographer of musical theater. So I was very influenced by musical theater. But what wouldn't you expect? I don't know. I'll think about it later. I'm sure I'll come up with that answer later.
So now, with Easy Target, like you embody women who came forward, that were brave enough to come forward.
Yes.
And in cases they weren't believed. And I'm curious as to like how it feels to do that live in front of an audience. Like, is it always empowering, or is there times when it's draining when you do it?
Ooh. Honestly, so far it's always empowering. I think I love performing, and I feel like it's such a privilege to get to embody songs that I wrote in very vulnerable moments. And yeah, so far it has only felt, that chorus at the end of the day, I'm still proud. It still makes me proud to sing it. So it is always a liberating feeling.
Cool. So I have a flip side to that question,
Okay.
too. So now there are some other powerful women out there. Ginny Thomas, Marjorie Taylor Greene. What would it be like to write a song as if you were them?
Oh, wow. I'd be like, at the end of the day, I'm not proud. At the end of the day, oh, yeah. I'm going to be thinking about that one for a while, yeah. I'd have to change the lyrics.
I would think so. Yeah, just a little. So I think I'm curious to go back to the opening versus the headlining. Like when you get to do these bigger shows, like do you get to do what we just witnessed tonight?
No. I do like a very condensed. I do a little bit of storytelling. I've taken a few of these pieces and put it into like the set that I do with the Indigo Girls and stuff, but no, I don't get to do that whole play.
So we were
it's a
super
set.
lucky.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
super
You were
lucky.
super lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
So now you worked with a bunch of like big name producers who had worked with other artists. One of them had worked with Laurie Anderson. And
Yes.
I'm curious, have you ever met her, been lucky enough to work with her?
I've never worked with Laurie Anderson, but I have met her very briefly. And yes, Roma Barron produces Laurie and has for many years. And when Roma and I started working together, it was on an album I did in 2006, my first Kill Rock Stars album. And I think she was drawn to my work because of, there's the violin, there's the performance art aspect. And then I worked with her on that first record as a mixer. She was mixing it. But this time, she produced the strings. I pulled her in as a producer on the Polar Bear song. And the way she approached the violin was bananas. And it was something I had never, everything that you hear that creeps in at the beginning of Polar Bear, those are all violins. And to me, they sound like bugs. And she didn't want me to record the violins to any track. Like, she didn't want me to hear anything. She was just like, just record over and over, like you do it on the G string, sliding up and down. She gave me all these really weird assignments that I had never experienced before. She's like, and then do, slide down, do a moan. All these crazy things that then she put them all together and made this kind of cacophony sound. And what it ended up to me sounding like was, the crickets and the bugs and all those sounds that are slowly disappearing from our reality. And it was very profound.
It was very profound. It's my favorite track on the album. Like, I love the whole album, but that one almost every time makes me cry, and it made me cry tonight. And so I was like so pleased. Like, when I had asked you earlier what songs weren't going to be played, I was hoping that wasn't one of them, and I also was hoping Easy Target wasn't one of them, because I was like, I got a question about that, and I want people to be able to. So,
good.
So thank you so much for that. And
Sure.
Yeah. So. And once again, thank you for providing us with the pussiest show ever
One
here
of
at
my
Churchill.
jobs. One of my
And
jobs.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks, Katie, for opening,
Katie
selling all the
Cash.
merch. It was awesome to have you both here, and
Thank
we
you so
can't wait
much.
to have you back in the future.
Oh,
So,
I would love
yeah,
that. And thank you
it'll
for
be fun.
creating this space and this community. I can't wait to meet you all. Thank you.
Come on up and get your T-shirt signed.
Yeah.